The duel between Fabiano Caruana and Anish Giri was worthwhile watching, except for the game of Magnus Carlsen and Ding Liren. This was a match to be worth watching for. We joined the game after 17th move, where Anish Giri with black pieces has played bishop takes d5. He took the knight on d5, and this position arose from Sicilian knight of variation. And at this moment, the position is around about equal. You can see this English bishop and this typical exchange on d3. So the position at this moment is around about equal. And here, Caruana with white pieces could have played knight c4, and this leads to some complicated positions like bishop takes, bishop e6, king c6 is taken. It looks as if black has gained a pawn, but white can play queen d7, attacking the pawn, and will eventually regain the pawn, and the position stays equal. But Caruana in this position plays rook e1, which gives Giri some chance. Bishop e4. Okay, still there is a threat to play f3, just stops that. Rook e8. Now rook a4. He could have played rook c1 in this position to challenge the queen, and again position looks roughly level. Rook a4, again another mistake. So some trades going on, and queen c2, exchanging queens in this position. He takes, and now this rook is active on the second rank, all because this rook didn't play itself. c1, and it's very difficult to defend this pawn. Let's have a look. Rook e4. Giri takes the pawn, so he's now a pawn up. Actually, he's 2 pawns up in this position, and lot of exchanges going on. Rook d7, bishop check. Caruana gains one of his pawns, and he gains another pawn. So both pieces are level, but Anish takes the pawn on a5. So there is a big threatening passed pawn on a6, but the rook is in front of it. If this rook had been here, let's say here, that would be quite better. King h2. Still nothing fussy going on. Well, this is good. This pawn is a liability, so it has to be given away. Rook exchange offered. Don't have to take. This pawn will run now. Run then. So rook takes pawn. And Anish starting to pushing his pawns now. Well, that's a good move. Rook b8 to keeping his rook behind the pawn. And here, if Caruana had played rook a4, this would have been a draw. Let's see how it goes. So after king e7, he won't be able to defend this pawn. With this 2-1 majority and the king side, white still has some counter-attacking chances. And this rook does a tremendous job of blocking, and this rook cannot leave the a file because it has to keep an eye on this pawn. But here Caruana plays rook c5. Mistake. Rook a8 getting after the pawn, but now this pawn goes through. Caruana takes the pawn on h5, but this pawn is too far away. And now Giri bringing his king. Caruana trying the same to get his king towards the black pawn. but this is too risky. Still Caruana still trying, and now some shuffling going on. Caruana putting his rook to a1 and h1, cf5, and now this is a tricky move, g4. If f takes g4, this is a draw, so f4. Very good move from Giri. And still little bit shuffling. Caruana is nothing better. If his king doesn't come back, then this pawn goes, this king comes and gobbles up this pawn, and then this pawn will start running, so that's quite dangerous in g5. Still, if you take this, then take this, king is in perfect position to stop the pawn. Not easy to win, probably a draw. King e4. So Giri is also starting to make a little bit progress here. He's at this moment, he was running very short of time. He was under a minute. Both players were under a minute at this position, but slowly but surely he's making progress. And now king g2, another mistake in this position. He could have simply gone, let's say, king e2 in this position, I would have still hold, but king g2 gives some way to this king, and now this king won't be able to come here. This king will hassle this rook, and this rook has to give itself away for the pawn. Giri starts to push, but it's too late, and here Caruana resigned. But that was a good game. Let's look at another game we just played. So we joined the game at move 9 in this position, where Caruana has played knight d7, and Giri with white pieces plays c4, as we see in the raffle variation, c6, rook c1, a5, and pretty normal stuff going on. A little bit shuffling, queen c2, here knight e5, bishop d7. If you change your knight with the bishop, or you should say exchange your knight with the bishop, then that would be good for black, because this bishop is being locked by its own pawn, so black would prefer that position, and whereas your knight sits very well on the e5 square. C takes, pawn takes, and b4. Rook b8 placing itself opposite white queen. Queen c5, just stopping that pawn move. Some exchanges going on. Rook takes the open file. Queen d8. So pretty normal stuff, nothing fussy up till now. f3, that's a nice move, taking the squares away from these two knights. That's very important. b6, challenging the queen. Queen tucks back to c3. Queen comes to e7. Rook defends this pawn, so this knight is free to move. Rooks were exchanged, and then knight f7. In this position, Giri tucked his bishop to f1. He could have simply played rook a6 in this position, threatening this pawn. So c5, bc5, knight takes, d takes, knight d7, targeting both these pawns. but this is still not what you got. F4 takes care of one of those pawns, and then queen takes, queen d4, and this is a promising position for white to play. Giri would have still good chances in this position, but that's for another day. Instead, he plays bishop f1 in this position. Knight was taken, pawn takes, knight goes to d7, f4 defends the pawn on e5, knight f8. And again he could play rook a6 in this position, but he chooses knight e2. Not bad, but could have been better. c5, this was taken, and then knight d4. Well, I don't like this move, knight d4. He could have played queen b3 in this position. If bishop f7, then knight c3, putting more pressure. So two pieces attacking this pawn, and also it's in line with the king, so this could be dangerous. So don't worry about the pin, because bishop c4 can take care about it. Still could have been tried, but knight d4 looked to me pretty premature in this position. Of course, this can't be taken because of the pin. If this takes, then rook drops, and this rook is loose on c8. Rook gets out of the pin, so knight is directly threatened. Knight f3, knight e6, rook a6, c4, queen d2, and black plays now knight c5. Here Giri plays queen takes d5 check, and there is a beautiful move in this position that Giri should have played. That is rook a8. If this is taken, then we take the pawn with fork, the V, the queen V in this position. But that's for another day. Queen takes d5 check, bishop blocks, e6, that's a good move. Knight takes e6, bishop takes, knight goes away, the queen d3, and exchange on f3. Two pieces attacking e3 now, rook e8, being played, king g2. If this is taken, then bishop takes, and then rook can also go down. Some more tactics. Here we go, queen c5. Bishop was captured, takes, e4, and here Caruana played rook e7. He could have exchanged it at e4, and with king at this position it could have been holdable. Still, rook e7, still not a bad move, not that bad move, and inaccuracy, but still. e5, now this is a deadly passed pawn in this position. Rook b7, and again Giri is under a minute in this position. Rook a2, second game in a row he's under a minute. He's struggling with time pressure, and that will come into play. King g7, queen d8, still making some progress. Rook b1 from Caruana, queen f6 check, king h6, and now he could have simply played rook f2 in this position, and it would have been better for white. You have to remember, he has a passed pawn, and this has been theme throughout this tournament. Rook f2 would have been better, but instead, under time pressure, he plays king h3, allowing Caruana something to play for. Queen e3, and this causes repetition, and you have to remember Giri was at 4 seconds in this position when he played queen e7 check. Just goes to show you how much time pressure he had. Now he plays rook f2, and here Caruana blundered. He should have played rook g1 in this position, just to give some connection with queen and rook, some solidity with the pieces. And not to forget, rook g1 keeps this king here, which means king won't be able to come out. But here Caruana blundered. Queen c5. This gives Giri a sniff in his dying time, especially in this game, not literally. King h6, rook g2. He could have played rook b7 in this position, Fabiano, but the last blunder saw him losing with a good move, rook g5. The simple threat is to give the rook and then queen g5 mate. Well, draw Giri wins against Caruana in this match. Some consolation for the Dutchman. I hope you like the video. Do check out some other videos as well. And thanks for watching. Bye. Cheers.